Hey, how you doing? And welcome back to Jack's Meat Shack. First video of 2020, so let's get started. Today we're going to do a marinated tri-tip on the Kamado Joe Classic 2. We're going to cook it reverse sear style, and we're going to use some Tikki Tonga coffee to make the wet marinade. So we're going to use coffee, maple syrup, soy sauce, a little bit of the actual espresso powder that we made earlier, and we're going to put it in a vat pack machine, seal it, force the flavours into the meat, and then we're going to cook it. So let's see how we prepare it. The first thing we're going to do is make some fresh espresso coffee. So we're going to use Tikki Tonga coffee number 12. It's got a really nice nutty undertone, and I think it's going to complement the beef quite well. So open your packet of coffee into your grinder, and you want a nice fine grind to put in your espresso kettle. Now we've got our beans to a nice fine consistency, we're going to top up our espresso kettle to the line, and obviously we've put water in the bottom. You can see on the side there's that little almost rivet. You don't want to overfill your espresso kettle, so fill the water to just below that line, and this is the sort of amount of coffee you want in your kettle. And then screw it on as tight as it will go, and then it's onto the hob. You don't want to have your hob too hot though. You want this to be a nice, gentle simmer. If you boil it too much, you're gonna burn your water, burn the beans, and burn the coffee. It will taste bitter and horrible. So that's the sort of temperature you want. Nice, gentle froth, not boiling too much. And then 300 ml of this is going into a Pyrex jug to cool down for our wet marinade, and the rest is going in my little Liquid cup, and then it's going into my mouth. Yeah. Okay, to our 300 milliliters of espresso, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. In here, there's about 3 tablespoons of this South Carolina barbecue sauce, but this is really like a nice mustardy flavour, so we're going to put this in as well. And 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. And we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of the actual espresso powder. And then we're going to mini whisk it all together. Now we're going to put the tri-tip in a vac sealed bag, pour in our wet marinade, and then we're going to seal it with our vac pack machine. This little beauty was only 20 quid from Lidl. I tell you what an investment. It's awesome. I've just got a roll of the bag in though underneath, because I didn't want the moisture to be sucked out of the bag. So as you can see, we've put our marinade into the bag, and it's been forced into the meat. So we'll put this in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back. We're going to cook this reverse sear style. So here is the setup you want. You want your cast iron grate on the lower setting, your top grate with the deflector plate underneath. Then we're going to use our eye command to control the cook, 150 degrees Celsius is the temperature we want for today. Now, the marinade didn't go into the meat as much as I would like, so I am going to inject it to the meat because one, I don't want to waste this awesome marinade, and two, I really want the coffee flavour to penetrate the beef. So yeah, I've got this little injector thing. You literally like use it like a syringe, suck up your wet marinade, and then inject it under the skin. You can actually see the meat sort of filling up with the injection while I'm doing this. So let's give it a go, see what happens. Now it's onto the Kamado. The temperature is at 150 degrees Celsius. We're using the eye command, and we're going to use the thermometer to monitor the tri-tip. Want to get it to about 45 degrees before we pull it off, rest it, and then I'm going to fire the Kamado up nice and hot to around the 260 degrees Celsius mark to then sear the tri-tip for the second part of the cook. So we're going to let the meat rest for about 5-10 minutes, get this Kamado screaming hot, and then we're going to put the tri-tip onto the cast iron, which is in the lower position on the divide and conquer system, and we're going to get a nice bit of colour on that beef. The coffee really does help protect the meat from cast forming on it. It's a really good ingredient to use in your cooking. There's some awesome coffee-based rubs out there. I actually have one myself on my website. Check it out, shameless plug, I don't care, it's my video after all. Then we want to the searing, so let's get this on now. Last part of the cook now, getting the tri-tip on the cast iron to pick up some nice colour and to form a nice crust on our beef. Then we're going to rest it and slice it nice and thin. So before that, we're just going to flip it over, and you can see the cast iron grate doing what it does best, putting a lot of heat onto that meat and giving us some nice grill marks. We've let our meat rest now for about half an hour under some foil. So now we're going to slice it nice and thin. We're going to try and go against the grain, and that should produce a nice tender meat. I was aiming for around the sort of 55 degrees mark for this cook, and it looks like I've achieved that. It looks nice and pink. If you look at it a bit closely, you can actually see some of the espresso has actually made it into the meat when we injected the marinade into the beef, and it's kind of like dissolved whilst we've cooked it. Looks good to me. What I'll do is I will lift up the beef so you can actually have a closer look to see what it looks like inside. So yeah, nice pink center, and yeah, those little brown bits, they're obviously the coffee that has melted inside. And yeah, really happy with how this has come out. So for something that we've never tried before, made a wet marinade, didn't penetrate as deeply as I wanted to in the meat, so we used an injector to inject it in, and it's come out pretty damn good. So thanks again for joining me at Jack's Meat Shack. This has been coffee and maple injected tri-tip, cooked reverse seared style on the Kamado Joe, and I think you agree, it looks pretty damn good. So happy New Year everybody. 2020 is going to be a good one. Got loads of content planned, loads of live cooking demos. Keep your eyes peeled on jacksmeatshack.com and follow me at Jack's Meat Shack on Instagram. And obviously don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Bye y'all.